Hello, everyone. My name is Jonah Cronus, and I'm the Senior Member Experience Specialist for ASIST. And I'm here today with Chirag Shah, who has agreed to chat with us about their experience and their time in ASIST. Welcome, Chirag.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, so let's go ahead and start off with a quick introduction. So, if you don't mind, would you mind just telling us who you are and where you're from?
Yes, I'm a professor in information school at University of Washington in Seattle. Before that, I was a professor at Rutgers University in New Jersey, and I did my PhD from information school at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the questions. So, in one or two sentences, how would you define information science, and what is your elevator pitch?
Well, I'll tell you first how somebody first time when I heard about information science, how they define it. So I was doing my master's in computer science at UMass Amherst. And I was interested in, I started asking questions about, well, what about the users? Because we were just building things that are, just algorithmically sound, but we didn't think about, or we weren't not thinking about the impact on actual users. So we just prove things mathematically or computationally. And so when I had this question, my advisor, Bruce Croft, told me, well, we don't care about that here. I was like, well, somebody's got to care about it. And he said, yeah, there's people in information science, they do that. So that was the first time I heard information science. And I asked him, like, what is information science? And he said, well, it's they do information retrieval, but from the user side. So that was his definition that information science is because information retrieval was my field at that time. And so I was introduced to it as doing information retrieval, but focused on user side as opposed to computational side. Um, and as I went to UNC, I got exposed to not just information retrieval, but broader aspects of information seeking and information behavior and so on. So what I came out learning and what I would now say is information science is a study of people's need, use, and creation of information in different contexts. So we're not just concerned about like what I was concerned about at that time, just retrieval of information, but information science is a lot more than that. We also care about why people need this information, in what context, how do they seek information, not just retrieve it, but encounter information. So things like serendipity, things like chance encounter, a lot of those things also play. And then finally, how they use information, right? How it impacts their actual life. So all of those things are part of information science. And that's what is exciting for me.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's great. And then, yeah, carrying on, why did you decide specifically to join ASIS as an organization?
Yeah, it's my advisor, Gary Marchand, he introduced me to ASIST. And I still remember coming to my first ASIS meeting. So I knew about JSIS, and this is kind of a little ironic thing that, we know about the publication before the organization. But it was, he encouraged me to come to this meeting because he could see that I could benefit from seeing that interdisciplinary perspective, right? So people coming from different disciplines, because the conferences that I went to before that were all computational, computer science conferences where um, people would be coming from a very narrow field, very narrow kind of a subdomains. Whereas ACEs, you have people coming from computational sciences, but also social science and history and biology and all kinds of things. And there's no other way to experience that than to be at that conference and to join that community and so on. So my advisor was instrumental in recommending this to me. And ever since I came to that first conference, I haven't quit. I mean, essentially, I've been coming year after year. So I think I needed that push the first time. And then it was just clear to me, yeah, this is where I belong and this is where I want to keep coming back.
Well, that's inspiring and also great to hear the impact of networking too. So thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. All right. So, what aspects of information science would you say give you the most joy and motivate you to continue your work?
Yeah, so the thing that actually brought me to information science, which is really caring about the user side of it, I think that still remains a core element that inspires me, that excites me. Um, because in the end, like, I mean, I'm still building systems. I still care about, algorithms and stuff, but ultimately, it has to be in the service of people. And uh, it's very messy. It's very complex studying people and trying to understand how they operate, what they want, what doesn't work for them, and so on. But that's what is really interesting. That's what keeps things exciting and interesting. So that user aspect, the core, I think that's still driving me. That's where it started. But also this notion, this interdisciplinarity, which again, I was hearing about it before coming into information science, but it's a different thing to practice it when you see, even as a doctoral student, like sitting in a room where um, everybody around you are coming from different background, different discipline, different walk of life, and have very different opinions about the same thing. That was something refreshing for me. That was something very new and actually, to be honest, challenging at first. But that's something that I've come to embrace over the years. So I think it's still something that I value the most, right? In this field. So I think I'm grateful that this field allows me to do that, where I don't have to just, I can pursue a different thread. I can go talk to somebody, or there are people already around me who are talking that different language, and that allows me to learn in a way that I couldn't do before. So I'm really, excited about that still.
Well said. Yeah, thank you. And then lastly, how do you stay inspired and creative in your work?
Yeah, so it's I mean I've done I've done a lot of work with industry. I mean, one of the things, and every place has something different. One thing that I've taken away from my work at Amazon is this notion of day one. It's always day one. And then the notion is, well, when you are new into something, you're excited. It's like having when you have a new car, new home, new job. There's always that excitement, and over time that kind of fades away. And so, what do we do to make us feel like it's always day one, right? And so I've continued doing that over the years. Like, I was excited. I was even nervous in the beginning, and I want to continue feeling that. And so, to do that, I've made sure that I keep first, you um, uh, keep keep catching up with things. I'm not catching up, but actually keeping up and then leading, things that are different. So I'm not doing the same thing I was doing, 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. So I've taken this opportunity that information science offers of having multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, to keep reinventing myself. And so that keeps things, fresh and exciting, and always feeling like day one, because once again, I'm encountering this problem. I don't know anything about it, but I'm here to learn, and I'm going to keep, learning and so on. I've taken advantage of not just my colleagues, but my students. So this is another privileged position that I have, that which many often, especially outside of academia or outside of this kind of position, don't, is that I have access to these amazing students who are coming and asking those kind of questions, like the kind of question that I asked my advisor years ago, is like, why don't we do user side, or why don't we care about like what happened to humans? They're asking these questions, and that keeps me on my toes because I don't always know the answer, right? But I'm in a position to advise them, to tell them, inspire them, and so I have to also dig my hands into the dirt and keep doing things. So I'm not settled. And I think this is the key, that and I don't know if I'll ever be, where I say, oh yeah, I know everything. I figured it all out. So I take pride in essentially disclosing my ignorance. Like, I don't know. And I'm okay not knowing, but that also encourages me, that also pushes me to go look for those answers, look for those, possibilities. So I've taken advantage of the community around me, the students and the colleagues around me, to be okay with that ignorance, and to work with them and through them to then find answers and new questions. So I think that constant push for looking for new territories and then rising up from the bottom. I've loved that process and reinventing myself. So it's always day one. I've also worked with industry quite a bit in all this time, mostly tech industry, at Microsoft, at Spotify, Amazon, other places. So that has also given me a very direct relevance to some of the work that I've been doing and seeing how things get applied in practice that goes to millions of users. Because again, that's a focus. So not just doing theoretical work and not just doing papers and things that we do in academia, but also seeing things in practice, how it gets implemented. So all of these things have kept things kind of interesting, engaging, challenging for me. And that's, has been going still, after all this year. So I'm excited.
Well said. No, thank you for sharing that too. And that's inspiring. Being a lifelong learner is such a good thing. And it sounds like you're on that track. And yeah, that's inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah, my
All
pleasure.
right. Well, thank you so much, Chirag, for taking the time to chat with us today and know that we at ASIS really appreciate it. And to all of our members watching, we hope you found this helpful and inspiring and informative. And stay tuned for future installments of Member Spotlight. Thank you.
Thank you.